Welcome to the latest New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories we're working on at this hour. Well, if you're riding the groovy city bus on Chapel Street, you got good news this week from a decision by the Traffic Authority, which is also a police authority. For the third and final time, the authority said no. The city cannot turn the stretch of Chapel Street, which is already busy and slow enough, between College and York into a two-way street. Now, some people thought this was a negative development. This was part of a broader city plan to try to slow our streets and make them more pedestrian and bike friendly. I think that's a great goal. We need our city to come up with these big plans. And we need oversight and citizen review to have to get approval first from citizens like those serving on the Traffic Authority. They listened to people. They heard from firefighters who worried that this would be dangerous in terms of fire trucks getting there. They heard from everyday people who said this doesn't make sense. It's already a slow block and now it's going to be impossible to navigate. So government worked. Made a good decision. Let's keep coming up with these great big plans, and let's also scrutinize each of them to make sure that in some cases they might not make sense and shouldn't go forward. At the clinic, they can use some of these cotton balls. You know, there's a app clinic. They run a methadone clinic that makes part of Ward 3 a real nightmare because they don't run it well, and there's a lot of drug and crime activity on that street. The city wanted to move it to the perfect location on Long Wharf, away from anyone's neighborhood, because we need them in the city. And that got shut down, and there's an older in Ward 3 named Angel Hubbard. She ran for re-election, and she refused to try to win her office by dumping on addicts. She supported the plan because she thought we should also think about neighbors and neighborhoods and care for our people who struggle with addiction. That became a hot issue in that race. Other politicians have been playing citywide on the fears of people who are scared of addicts and just want to put them out of our mind in a way to try to win office. Angel Hubbard won her primary. She didn't lose based on this issue. Democratic primary. We'll see what happens in November, but now we know we can talk about issues with hearts and smarts and not necessarily pay a price. Excuse me, I'm going to ignore you for a minute and just talk on my phone. Just kidding. You know, New Haven high school seniors and all high school students can't do that anymore during class because starting this month in all our high schools, they have to put their phones in Yondr patches. There was an event this week that reported that the plan is working. Kids are talking more in class, engaging with others in the cafeteria. Hill Alder Carmen Rodriguez made a really interesting suggestion at that event. She said, let's not stop at schools. At her house at dinner, no phones, people have to look at each other. And let's not stop with kids. Let's continue with each other. We're all spending too much time on our phones. We're losing our ability to connect with each other and see God in each other's eyes. I got a letter to mail. Luckily, I have some forever stamps, and luckily I bought them before this week, because this week they had an event at Yale, U.S. Postal Service, to unveil a new forever stamp bundling the mug of William F. Buckley, that notorious segregationist, white supremacist, and half-rate intellectual, who everyone decided was smart and worth hearing because he faked a British accent and said what some people, unfortunately, don't want to admit they believe. At this rate, I think we could look at the next forever stamps coming out with David Duke's face, Timothy McVeigh, Donald Trump. Once they get started, they don't stop. In any case, this is the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. Remember, always pick up and recycle our trash while we still